On Saturday evening, just to whet the appetite for Sunday, and wet might be the word, we have Ballymac, of course, Ballymac Delegate, with Ballymac against St. Senan's. That's North Kerry, and Ballymac had been thereabouts. They were beaten in, I mean, they've been so unlucky. They were beaten in a final. You were at that Listowel, Jack McKelligan's point then. And then last year they lost against Rivalries in extra time and the penalty shootout and all this. So look, they're back again. They tried their best to lose again last Sunday. They went to 3-9 to 6 points, or the 50. They went 12 clear anyway, and it was 9 or 12. And then they allowed them come back because one Ronan Buckley decided to go and do Paul Ganey and start kicking 2 points for fun. And Aaron O'Shea kicked a couple as well, and it was down to 2 points. And they had a pot. Listry had to level it, and then the boys went down and got a point. I think it was Aidan Breen maybe, or was it one of the subs? Anyway, there was 3 in it, and they got a last minute free. Listry did, but Ronan tried one of those ones that he could have gone in under the crossbar, but was rising, went over the bar, so they lost by 2. So tight enough, having led. They never played in the first half, except they got a goal from a penalty by Jack Joy on the stroke of half time to the last action in the first half. Dennis Kennelly deemed that a Listry defender had handled in a cluster of bodies. Donald Daly had get possession, lost it near the way. There was a crowd inside, and he was very close to it, and he pointed to the spot. So they went in 1-6 to 6 points, having played with the wind. So it could have been 6-all. And that changed, I thought, the discourse at half-time, the difference between being in front, having played poorly, and then, going in level. It changed, and obviously it changed Listry as well, and the team talk for them. So, Ballymac, can they do it? Can they finally get over the line?
I think they have to much from their own point of view, because, there are teams that they're playing at a level and they're competitive and they're playing some great stuff. 2 years ago against Listowel, it was one of the best games. It's one of the standout games, really. But for atmosphere, for colour and for football quality, brilliant. Came out of the wrong side. Lost in penalties last year.
And they hit the crossbar. They did everything but they should have won last year as well.
Quality side, well coached, play lovely football.
Ballybunnan men.
Ian Blake is right, 2-3 in 10 minutes after half time the last day. Led by young McKivergan and Aidan Breen in the middle of the field.
Yeah, McKivergan came on 5 minutes before half time. Dara King got injured or something. He was sitting over in a chair on the far side in Castle Island, and McKivergan came in and he changed the whole course of the game. And he's a minor. He'll be playing tomorrow night. Well, tomorrow night.
Aidan Sheehy and Dara Broderick got the 2 goals and they looked to be comfortable.
Dara's goal came in. It was a 2-point effort by the free taker. Who was their free taker for 2-point efforts? It wasn't Brino. It was Dara. No, it wasn't Dara. No, the ball was hit in, and Dara Broderick, Biscuits I think they call him, he was inside and he punched it into the net. His father was a great trod. He was called Michael Broderick, Castle Island St Mary's man, and a fabulous basketballer. Top-class basketball, and he's a basketball coach. Well, see the information I give you?
I know, it's incredible stuff. Is it the case that they've been, because I think they've been in semi-finals going back as far as 2022? So they've been in a semi-final or a final for 4 years on the trot. And like you say, that puts pressure on them too. You kind of have to deliver. But like the Kerry ladies, I think that was their 3rd final in a row that they won. Eventually it surely will come good for them.
Definitely, but look, they're up against the St. Senan's team that are really tough. They've come through tough games as well.
The man I mentioned earlier, William Kirby, Austin Stack's fame in Kerry, he's in charge really, and he's got a good setup there. Now that Crotta were out early of the hurling championship, weren't in the latter stages of it, and compared to the previous year, means that they're Bill Keane, Mike Keane,
they won't though have Barry
Manny, who was last.
Rory came on and kicked a point up in Colony Park.
But I suppose Ballymac are missing Vinnie Horan more than likely, so it balances itself out.
He was on the team sheet the last day, by the way, Vinnie Horan, and I said, he did his ACL. He said, somebody told me that's kind of attached, well, I won't say attached, it wasn't the management, but knows the setup there, and they were saying, he wants to play. And I was saying, he wants to play. Well, now they said with the ACL, what they do is you do the rehab, and then you go for the surgery, whatever it happens. Before, you were straight up to sanctuary and you got it done. But now it's changed.
Was it Niamh Ní Chonaiceoir? Not the final they won, the one in between.
Shifra,
was it Shifra? One of them had done their hamstrings, their ACL, and then she appeared in the final.
And she appeared in the final. Nobody could believe it because the 12 months.
So maybe.
10 months so maybe, but he won't appear, I don't think, in the final. But St. Senan's, getting back to them, the key man for St. Senan's is Killian Trant.
Yeah, he's
another man who played a half against Donegal, wasn't it?
And I thought he did quite well.
He was whipped off.
Yeah.
And we didn't see him after.
We didn't see him again. Yeah. That was disappointing.
It was for him. Yeah. Well, because he concentrated. Yeah. He could have played hurling for Kerry.
He could play hurling for Kerry.
Yeah. He said he'd give the football a year, and he's given it. And I think the way he's playing in the championship now, if Jack gets a chance to see him, I think he'll be back in for the National League and things. Maybe the McGrath Cup. You like the McGrath Cup, don't you? Yeah. You voted for it, didn't you? Are you in the club players committee?
No.
Or you're not a player anymore? Right. Tell us, St. Senan's, go on, discuss.
Yeah, look, Killian Trant is one of their marquee player, really, I suppose. He has learned quite a lot from inside. You can see that he has developed, and his displays throughout have been exceptional. I thought the day against the War, it was a real battle out in the War, and he showed up really well for them. Yeah,
the three Kennelly brothers. There's Alan, a cornerback. He's smallish, just in stature, but he's big in heart. And then Connor, who man-marked Keith Evans, and he will be given the job again the next day of looking after one of the Ballymac danger men, I presume. And you have then Cahill, who plays at 10. Now, he's a big lad. He goes back, helps the defence. He kicked a massive 2-pointer the last day. He's a very, very good player. Tomas Dillon at full forward. You Sean O'Connell, who takes the frees. He's a good lad. Shawnee McGrath knows for the post and he's a good worker. He's fouled a lot.
Paddy Quill has been moved to midfield now.
He has, and David Foran. David Foran played minor with Kerry.
Yeah.
They've a lot of guys who played minor.
They have.
Shanty Dillon's the guy we haven't mentioned. He's a serious man marker.
He's playing at 7 at the moment, but again, he would probably man mark. Interesting who will take Aidan O'Brien, because Aidan, and I think, there's almost a man, I suppose, there's a player in every team that we look at and say, I'd love if they won it for, we'd love if...
you saying Aidan O'Brien is the Huggy of Ballymac?
I think he's the guy that everybody wants to see winning it. He's such a gentleman, such a great player, has been incredible with Ballymac for so many years. And he's not an old guy, he's probably 34 maybe. If he is that, 34, 35 max, he'd kill me now for aging him probably. He was one of the best soccer players in the Kerry District League outside of the guys who concentrate in soccer. They played both codes since John Kennedy retired from HD in 1996. Unbelievable, Aidan O'Brien is. But that's the skill level he has. Even his hand passing, the way he grabs the ball, he takes frees, he's quick. There was a situation last day where Listry hit a high ball in, very dangerous for the goalkeeper, because Christie was inside, and there was a swirling wind, and who was there, sort of like a Darrow O'Shea under the crossbar to field it? Aidan O'Brien. He's unbelievable. So St. Senan's have scoring power. They have very tough defence.
Yeah.
And they'll make it very hard. And what I would say about Ballymac is, I think there's nothing wrong with their desire to get across the finishing line. But they have a couple of younger players on the team, and not so young players on the team, who sometimes don't play for the collective, if you know what I mean. They take wrong, it's not a deliberate thing, they just take wrong options. They run into contact, lose the ball. The one thing they'll have to do the next day is be far more direct. If they go into contact against St. Senan's, the Kennellys and the Keens will eat you, and the Shanty Dillons. You know that from North Kerry.
Their superb defence is organised well. It's the group more than the individuals. Yes. They back up one another very well.
Absolutely.
They don't allow any. They don't allow players break the tackle and go down the centre. Their midfield is solid. You look at Ballymac. We spoke about them. They play some superb football and get into a lead. And sometimes it looks as if they just go into kind of a comfort zone, and don't kick on, or you say maybe take the wrong options. But you know, they'll probably have learned from it.
Can I ask you a question, John? Like, we know that the Gael are in Division 3.
Yeah.
Ballymac has spent a good portion of the last 2 or 3 years in Division 1. Has that done them any good?
Yeah. Do you see, that's it, like it's a high level.
They're relegated this year, weren't they?
I think they're
down to 2,
But like, does it give them a false sense of themselves, or does it?
No, it increases their when you play against the Crokes,
but it's
not a great team, as you said earlier.
I did say that, yeah. But it's the Crokes minus 7 inter-county guys.
Yeah, but that's the guys you want to play. But and who else was up there? Spog, Glenflesk, all those teams up there who in your eyes are not playing in the intermediate championship, which is the toughest championship. They're playing senior, Spar, Rathmore, Long Rangers.
It's no more than the Crokes or senior club. Like when you speak about the junior premier around the county, to the genuine supporters that go to all the games, Ballymac have to win the junior premier. That's the mindset that's out there. Yeah. And then when you're the opposition, they're the team to beat. So every game is a final for them.
Yeah. Well, St.
And because they're Division 1, people are up there to be shut down.
Exactly.
Well, St. Sinans will say to themselves, like, we've beaten Keele. We came out of a tough group. They were in there with Curra. They
beat the Mighty Mal.
Listry. They beat the Mighty Mal in the quarter. For those who don't understand,
there's only one Mal, by the way.
There's a Mal in Knocknagosh.
There isn't. There's only one Mal.
There's a Mal in Dua. That's who he's talking about. Cormac Dillon single-handedly, and the O'Connor brothers almost beat them on that day. But St. Sinans, they've gone through a tough campaign. They had Churchill. That was very, very tough. They had Curra and Listry.
And they had a week of controversy.
And a week of controversy. They didn't know whether they were going or coming, maybe.
The Keele victory was a huge win for them. But I think even the Dewar game was more important from their point of view, because it was a local North Kerry derby, and they take on a mindset of their own, really, don't they? So difficult.
And even if you go back to the junior final last year, Dewar and Tarbert, those North Kerry games, they take on a life of their own. They really do.
Yeah.
See, this broadcast is brought to you by the North Kerry Football Board, and their representatives here today are John Kennedy from SD, and we don't know what else to be at this stage. Whoever are winning, I presume, we have Damien Stack. I apologise if you feel left out, Ballymac.
Anyway, it is the best. So we're talking about the best championship. It's the best district championship.
Yeah. Well, now having said that,
there's no doubt about that.
We have the best district championship. It's not East Kerry and the O'Donoghue Cup, because the Crokes and Rathmore and the good senior teams are involved in that. We have to go for we'll be talking about them soon. They're way at the bottom of my page here, somewhere. The junior championship and the novice championship. Well, junior, we just quick look at the junior championship, and it's full of North Kerry teams. Are there North Kerry teams in the other competitions? There are, I suppose. Have you seen a team in North Kerry?
Yeah, Listowel was very unlucky against Kilcommon.
I would say that Listowel will be a senior team in 5 years.
I would agree there. Okay, let's get a call on this one. I will have to go with Ballymac. I'm going along with what everybody is saying. God, they're going to have to win it sometime. This surely is their year. I don't know how many more years. I suppose Brino could play till he's 40 or 45. He keeps them in great shape. But look, they're going to have to do it. They have an opportunity. St. Sinans won't be easy. St. Sinans lost the final in 2019 to Nagail, who, as I said, are in a county senior final, which is not important according to you. But if you say it, I would say, I'm going to have to say Ballymac. I said it from the start. They were odds on to win it from the start. What do you think?
Yeah, I picked Ballymac to win the junior premier myself earlier on. It's going to be a real tough battle, though. There's no doubt about it. There won't be a huge winning margin. It'll go to the wire. But I think Ballymac will just about have enough. And they'll learn every bit of it from St. Sinans because of the defence they have and the midfield.
Experience counts for a hell of a lot, and like I said, they've been in the business for 3 or 4 years, and the teams that generally tend to be knocking around eventually get over the line. But Cork have been in 3 or 4 All-Ireland hurling finals in a row and lost them all. It's not impossible. It's not impossible.
You insulted Crokes and the Gael, and now our great journalist is insulting, and he edits the Cork Man sports section, and now he wants to insult Cork colours. Do you?
I don't know. I think they insulted themselves in the final, to be honest.
Right, so complete collapse in the second half. He reminds us again. Actually, they're very upset over that being used by certain individuals about Cork. I think Jack might have used
Jack
it or
used
something.
it. Jack used it. I think I did. Did Jimmy McGuinness make mention of it too? It was mentioned in a few, but you have to say Ballymac.
Ballymac. So we're not unanimous on. We're unanimous.
But Senan are going into a final.
We're not unanimous in the senior club. Crokes, 2 Crokes, 1 Nagale, but 3 of us are Ballymac.
But Senans are like going into this final with no baggage in the way that Ballymac are. And if it's still in the fire in the last 10 minutes to go.
And let's not forget they lost in a penalty shootout last year.
Yeah,
St. Senans.
And I mean, I shot at these boys. I'd say the majority of them probably played in the 2019
Ballymac lost in a
final.
penalty shootout as well last year.
Yeah.
Both of them did.
Yeah.
They took awful penalties last year over in Killarney, I think it was last year. Lonigan went into goals. He's in Australia now. Brian, and they took out Christy Lean. Do you remember that? Because Brian had played in goals for the Kerry Miners. And so they made a few decisions. Some say, leave him in there. Some say mistake. But in fairness to Faris, the penalties they took were absolutely incredible. Right, now down to your level. Junior, the Kerry Petroleum Junior semi-finals. Very quickly, these are both on Clubber Live. Obviously, the game on Saturday evening is live on Clubber TV if you can make it, from Austin Stack Park at 6:30, and on Sunday from Dua at 1, I think it is. We have
it's Dua at 1 and it's the Stole at 3.
Yeah, and we have Bale. Would you call him Bale or Bale?
Bale.
Bale against Cordell.
Yeah.
Cordell.
Yeah.
Any views on that? Now, Cordell beat Knocknagoshel. Was that a bit of a surprise, John?
A smidge.
Without Philip O'Connor.
Without Philip O'Connor, and
but they have Killian, they have Shane Keller, he's under 8 players.
Sean O'Connell was outstanding.
Sean O'Connell at midfield.
Very.
Did he play with Tipperary?
Yeah, very impressive.
They probably were the favourites coming into this. Cordell, I would say.
Had they
the favourites were kind of a toss-up between them and Tarbert. I mean, Tarbert, if they do make it into the final, their third final in a row. Yeah. So, is there any massive surprise that Cordell are here? No. But I think we probably would have thought with Philip gone that maybe.
Yeah. So they're through to the final. And Bale then, they had a very big win down in Kilgarvan. Kilgarvan don't have the numbers anymore. There's a lot of injuries as well. Obviously, Donald Down has gone next door, if that's the expression. His brother was playing full back. No, I don't want to start the war now between Kilgarvan and Kenmare. I've started enough wars. So
Rob Stack was outstanding for Bale in the middle of the field. He's, I think he kicked 8 points.
Yeah. Obviously, when we're doing what we're doing, we're out covering different games. I only saw one Bale match in the flesh, and it was against Ballylongford. It was a very poor game, but he was absolutely outstanding. He ran the show, and he just exudes a bit of a leadership. Yeah, I have to say.
They have a good inside line, haven't they? Ian Mannix got two or something, and then they have another lad.
Kane Tyrrell got 2 or 3, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. And there's Toomey's there, there's an Eric Daly.
Yes. There's an O'Mahony at centre back was quite good.
Yeah.
They're good. Philly Blake is still playing, is he?
He is.
Philly's,
Philly's still playing.
Philly alongside Rob at midfield.
Rob, so a good role there. How do we see that going? Beale and Cordell?
You'd imagine that Cordell's victory over Knocknagoshel without Philip O'Connor.
That's huge.
I would think that they'll just have enough for Beale, but Rob Stack, there'll be a huge battle between Rob Stack and Sean O'Connell.
Yeah. God, that's intriguing. We have so many midfield battles coming. Mark O'Shea, we say Jack Barry, all the ones with it could be Matt Rainier, could be O'Shea against Carlo Bigsby. There's so many big collisions to come.
And another point, Cordell have played, this will be their 3rd game in Dua in 2 years. They've probably played more in Dua than Bale have, even though Bale than our Kerry team. So
they've played more in Dua have, I've heard.
I don't know about that now, but yeah.
But it's a great.
If I'm allowed again, would I get the breakfast off your mum? Do you think?
Probably not at this stage, Mark. But
all right, no, okay, yeah.
You've not been very nice to me today.
No, I haven't actually. She's going to watch this. Your mum, or your dad, more than like your mum. Your mum won't.
Mum never misses it.
Doesn't she?
Oh, no.
Not when her golden boy is on the screen, I suppose. I wouldn't blame her either, because in fairness, you're not the worst looking scraggy guy that we have on the thing. But anyway, give us a view on the other game. Now, this is one that's very close to your heart, Tarbert, who you like a lot, obviously, and Dowdy is involved with us here. You see, he deliberately missed today because he didn't want to give a verdict on Tarbert. Tarbert had a good win over the weekend, and my van had trouble getting past St. Michael's Fillmore.
Went extra time.
Went extra time, yeah. What would you think, based on respective semi-finals?
I'd say Tarbert again. Just judging on, I was out in the
Senan Wright of Clubber Parish. He does co-comments with us.
He's the captain.
He's the captain centre back. How's he playing these times? Let's assess him now, since he's assessing everybody else in the country.
He started.
I think he's got slow.
He started very well against.
His judgment under a high ball isn't like it was. I think his kicking and his distribution could. Oh God, I could be working with him again. No, he's a very, very good player.
I think Dowdy said that he picked up some bit of a knock in that game, but he started that game very well. First 10-15 minutes. And I think he basically ended up going back onto Marco Manin eventually. Yeah. And in fairness, I think he even not at 100%, he did a decent enough job there.
Lisbon are a difficult team.
Lisbon, they've some lovely footballers. They've some lovely footballers.
In that novice final
2 years ago.
It was back
and they've had a lot of injuries. Manin, I think, was injured with an ACL last year.
Gareth Noonan, Dara O'Sullivan is still playing with them. They have really some good players.
The two Canadians in the forward line.
Keane and Cormac.
Cormac was brilliant now with the last day.
How do we think that my van? Who's in charge of my van? John Jack? No, what's his name? Mulvihill.
That's a good question. I'm not so sure.
I think it's a Mulvihill guy that's in charge of them. There's a good few Mulvihills playing with them. Shane Stack is a very good player. Jackie,
Darragh O'Keefe and these guys, Brendan
is David Mulvihill with them, or is he with Tarbert?
He's with Tarbert.
Brendan
O'Keefe and goals, I think 2 points the last day. The Stacks, Donald and Shane, Darragh O'Keefe, they have a lot of good young fellas. That was a big win against St. Michael's Fillmore, even though they were at home.
Sullivan kicked 10 or 12 points or something.
Sullivan, but I think that they'll know each other inside out, but Tarbert have a lot of the lads that were playing on that successful Tarbert comprehensive team.
John Coulihan and boys like that.
And the likes of David Mulvihill, Paddy Finucane. You put
Shane. He's kind of like the Tarbert Paddy Sheehan. I like him very much.
Shane Stack managed them, didn't he? He's teaching.
He did, exactly. He did, he was involved.
We went up to Glyn for a media day before, myself and Dowdy, before they went to play the All-Ireland final, which they were very unlucky to lose, I think, didn't they? But did they win and Listo lost? I think they won.
Sean Wren on that team,
Sean Wren. They're all young. I would say Tarbert have a slight edge.
I think, Sean Wren kicked 4 points the last day. Danny Wren really totally committed, and a fantastic warrior.
Danny's an Aidan Breen, and he's around for a while.
Around for a bit,
he's the Kerry minor.
And Michael Heath.
Did you pick him in the Kerry minor team, or did you drop him?
There? No, he was involved.
He was involved,
and he's carrying on that tradition that his father Mike and his uncle Johnny, they were warriors.
Johnny Wayne was
great footballers. I think they have a slight advantage, but they're, like Damien said, Shane picked up, I think, maybe a slight hamstring injury.
He wasn't quite himself.
No, he needed
to
be
right. Well on Clubber on Sunday across Austin Stack Park, up and down. So they were playing the day before. So
I was talking
was he moving well or just moving well in comparison to you?
I was talking to him on Sunday, and he's hoping that it's not too serious, because he'd be huge loss if he was. He'll play because he's captain.
You see the personal insults I take from that he moved better than I did. I will take Shane on a sprint in Austin Stack Park one of these days.
The one thing, and I think John O'Dowd even, I don't know, maybe I'm talking out of school, but I kind of get the sense that, not Tarbert, not my van. It's like, it's a derby. It's an North Kerry game.
They're playing a derby game.
You might say, okay, Cordle are probably a better team than my van, but they might prefer to be playing Cordle.
John, I remember didn't they play some...
And they've bad memories of the last time they played in the Stoke.
Was it 99 or some year, they played in the North Kerry final, Tarbert and my van, and Mrs. O'Connor, Dara O'Connor's wife, had the jerseys of both sides, the jersey from both teams up on the line, because Cahill had moved house, had moved to my
van.
van, and the brother then
was playing for Tarbert.
Tarbert, so it was brother against brother.
Yeah. And
we actually won that final, can I remember?
And their father, the late Dare, who was chairman of the North Kerry board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah. He refused to give the cup that day to...
That was an interesting household, wasn't it?
It was an interesting household.
But that's what football is about in championship, when you have these derbies, and they're so hard to call, but I feel that slight advantage to Tarbert.
Yeah, Tarbert and Cordle, I think we're both going for,
Tarbert and Cordle, I wouldn't disagree. And Tarbert are kind of like Ballymac. They want to get over the line. They've been in 2 finals that they've lost.
So do Cordle. Like, did they make one final?
They made one final 3 or 4 years ago. Against
I think they've been
rivalries.
Yeah,
and they lost heavily.
But they've been in every semi-final.
I remember being in Austin Stack Park. That final that year was over after 20 minutes.
But like I say, they've been in every semi-final since. They're another one of these teams knocking around, and they are, like I say, they're the teams that tend to win these championships. The teams that are knocking around for a wee while. And the same thing you could say for Fossa. This is their second final in 3 years, and then the other year they were in a semi-final. So,
Right. So that's it. We're going to mention very briefly. I'm just going to mention the fixture because it's live on Clubber tomorrow evening. So you get an early taste for football tomorrow evening. The first game is on at 6. It's the Keen Super Value Minor Football Championship. There's a number of players who have commitments over the weekend on Saturday and Sunday playing in these games, but that's not the fault of anybody bar the clubs who voted in the age to be 18 rather than 17. And so that means there's a lot of 18-year-olds who can play minor who are also playing with the senior clubs. For example, Ballymac would have Owen Moriarty, would have Martin Gibbergan and Jack Joy playing within 48 hours. Cordle have, of course, Killian, Dennehy, Shane, Kelleher, fine player.
But doesn't it kind of, like, other than, maybe that wasn't the best move, but isn't it just a kind of indicative of how crazy condensed how crazy the club side of it this year? Yeah, there's no time to breathe at all for anything.
No, not even to do a supplement.
Not even to do a county final.
We've nothing. So tomorrow evening at 6, you have St. Kieran's playing. I did previews of these today, so if I can't remember these for the programme, I'll be shot. The first one is St. Kieran's against Killarney Legion. Kieran's the champions. Remember they beat Austin Stacks last year, and that finish slightly controversial. And that's on at 6, Austin Stack Park under lights. You can also watch it live on Clubber, and then at 8 o'clock we have the second semi-final, and that is going to be a real ding-dong affair. East Kerry, who are rarely out of a semi-final or a final at minor level over the last 8, 9, 10 years, are incredible pool of talent coming through. They'll be playing St. Brendan's, and St. Brendan's are very strong this year. They have David Sargent, Kerry Miners. They have the young lad Lacey. They have a very, very good team. They have Aaron Harty. They have a powerful team. Lads made up from Kansas O'Reilly's obviously are in there. Gerard White and forward obviously. So they're very strong. Rory Kennedy, the Kerry Minor keeper. So the 4 or 5 Kerry Minors, very, very strong. But they'll be meeting East Kerry, and they did very well last Thursday down in. You wrote about it, but you know nothing about it. They played South Kerry and beat them after extra time. Dylan O'Mara, I think, with 2 goals there. So East Kerry and St. Brendan's, that's at 8 o'clock again, live on Clubber. I'm co-commentating, I think, on the first game, and John Kennedy, you have no game. You're Sunday.
That man has to be arrested for the main event.
You'll be arrested for the main event on Sunday. And Damien Stagg, you will be reporting on the main event, will you?
I will. The FAI Cup quarter-final on Friday night.
With Friday night. Good luck, by the way, to Kerry FC. We wish them all the best against Sligo. Would you wish Kerry FC all the best from Sligo?
Yeah, that's great.
Being one of the real diehards, the GA men who hated soccer.
Oh, never said that, but no.
No, you played with us. You were quite a good soccer player.
Played it, yeah. And, Sean O'Keefe and his brother Donny were part of that team in SD. Sean, very involved with Kerry FC. Great to see Kerry FC in a quarter final, and you're 90 minutes away from being on a televised semi-final of the FA Cup.
That's right, and you're just 90 minutes away from Europe.
Yeah.
So. And if Kerry FC manage to win it, beat Shamrock Rovers in the final, right? If Kerry FC manage to win the cup, their European games will be played in Austin Stack Park. I have that unofficially got from the bag from Patrick O'Sullivan.
But if they did manage to get through the next day, and it's a home and away thing again, if they got a home semi-final, they might have to consider it. They really might, going up to Stack Park.
If you're meeting Shamrock Rovers, they'll bring down 5,000 or 6,000, like in 10,000 at a game. Would there be more now at your main event the next day than there would be at the Kerry FC game, do you reckon? And on that bombshell, before he will answer that and make a total fool of himself again, that's our Kingdom Calls for this week. I'd like to thank John Kennedy for his contribution as always. Knowledge, wisdom, he has it all. He's been there, he's worn the t-shirt, worn the jersey, and he is always obliging. Thanks, John, and thanks for looking up your WhatsApp message this week and arriving at the right place. And then we have Damien Stack, who last week wasn't here because he was too lazy to drive in because it was a Thursday and he was off. Oh no, sorry, it was a Wednesday. Yeah, so he's here this week, and thanks for your contribution as always, Damien. And to John O'Dowd, who's not here, we hope we'll have you back next week, but then again we might not even take you back. It all depends on how things go. To our producer, who's getting very restless, I'd say, John C. O'Shea. It's been a long day, and thanks, John, as always. And this will be up, this has been recorded on Wednesday evening, although looking out now it's almost dark, so it's Wednesday night. But it'll be up later on tonight, I would say, and certainly on Thursday you will be able to watch it and see what the wise men have predicted for the weekend. Remember, all the games at the weekend, bar the big one, which is on the second biggest, which is on TG Car. That's Crokes and the Gael. All the other games at the weekend, the intermediate final, the Junior Premier final, and the two Junior semi-finals, and the two minor championship semi-finals tomorrow night are live and exclusive on Clubber. Goodbye for now.